Hi, I'm Grace. This is my walk-away video. I'm walking away from the Democratic Party because I believe they elected Trump. I think they did this by manipulating identity politics to their advantage without realizing that the country was tired of identity politics. So when Trump became president, I had to know why. It disgusted me. I was in shock and denial. I had to know why, and I was actually curious, unlike a lot of my liberal friends who did the easy thing and assumed that half of the United States is racist. I thought that was possible, but I really did want to know why he was my president. So instead of radicalizing to the movement of he's not my president, I stepped back a little bit because I was curious. I started researching, I started listening to everything I could, and all the different news sources, even Fox News, I know, and listening to academics on YouTube, trying to figure out why this happened. And what I found was that people were tired of identity politics. I mean, they were tired of the left always talking about people's race or racism, always talking about people's sex or sexism, always talking about all of the ists, and as if it were happening everywhere all the time. It was just a buzz thing. It was like manipulating the latest trend to get your platform, essentially. Because what I started to see when I actually did research was things don't get better when the Democrats are in office. It's not like the ghettos are getting better. Quite the opposite ends up being true. So I started actually thinking about politics in general, and I started to, well, I don't think I ever had a great grasp on politics. I did the party line, I'm a person who loves people, and I think people should have rights, so I'll vote Democrat. Most of us are pretty stupid. And I think the Democratic Party knows that, and I think the Republican Party knows that too. But anyway, I learned a lot about politics. I learned a lot about government and economics, and then I realized, wow, I started seeing radicalizing, leftists getting violent, organizing in groups that promote violence. It's so, and suddenly I realized, oh, maybe there isn't a good side and bad side. Maybe both sides can be corrupt. And, I'm exhausted by identity politics too. I hate the idea that you have to be a woman. Why can't I be a human? I am a woman, but it's not like I have to walk up to people and that's what I expect you to see. And, liberals expect people to see, when you see someone, you have to see what color are they? What gender are they? Are they gay? I need to know. They might know more than I do, because there's this hierarchy of oppression. Here's the Orthodox doctrine. There's a hierarchy of oppression. I need to know where you're at, because if I'm more oppressed than you are, then what I say holds more weight. If you're more oppressed than I am, I yield to what you say as true. If you think about it, it is ridiculous. Why can't we be human? Why can't we be Americans? Why can't we be those things first? Especially when it's related to politics and economics and business and government. And so I started to see that this boogeyman, alt-right, was smaller than people on the left made it out to be. And here's how I know. Because the second that a liberal questions identity politics or questions democratic policy, they're alt-right. They're being called alt-right, even though they're not. And then I started to realize the alt-right is this huge boogeyman that's actually way smaller. Like the actual racists, the actual bigots, they are a pretty small group, I think. Because if you don't conform to the orthodoxy, you're out. I lost a lot of friends. most of my friends at this point of my life, I spent a couple decades in academia and liberal circles. I mean, I led the rally. I led the way. Let's just say that. I converted more people to feminism, you know. So the point is, you question one thing and suddenly your friends are radio silent and you're on the outside and they just cannot believe that you've turned into this racist, horrible human being. It's like, it makes you step back further and go, what the hell is happening? And it makes you not want to participate in it because you recognize that as the equal opposite of the alt-right. When Trump became president, liberals started to radicalize and they're going on the extreme and turning into some kind of crazy alt-left. I mean, organizing into violent groups. It's like totally unacceptable to me. So I still have liberal values, but I am not a Democrat. I might not even be a liberal. I might not even be willing to call myself a liberal anymore based on what I'm seeing and based on how I'm being treated by liberals, frankly. And I'm starting to see if these violent liberals get into government, well, first, they're all for communism and socialism, so, well, there goes the United States of America. But second, I don't want those people having big government. I thought there might be a group of good people. If we had big government, it would be great, and maybe they'd bring in the utopia. No. You know, maybe I am a conservative. Maybe I don't want big government. So I'm starting to think those thoughts. You know, now that I'm freed from liberal friends who have no good argument because they're not talking, I can actually start thinking about those things. So I'm leaving the Democratic Party. Bye.